What's happening with it, y'all? Duty Man, Daughter TV, Duty Man Reacts, Chad Johnson, I Am Athlete, calling cap on Jon Gruden, fake outrage. Just wanted to get in, just wanted to throw that out there to y'all right now, just to let y'all know what this particular episode gonna be about. And shout out that once again, I want to extend my thanks, shout out to everybody behind the scenes work that's pushing me, believing in me, motivating me. The whole thing, a whole lot of good things happening in my personal life right now, and I can't complain. It's starting to turn up a little bit, you know what I mean? But how y'all doing this? How y'all doing this evening? You know what I mean? Had a long day. Been trying to craft some creative stuff around, and decided to you know what? I'm gonna just go for it. I'm gonna throw a monkey wrench in here with this video right here. So what we doing is we reacting to the I Am Athlete special featuring Chad Johnson, calling cap on a fake outrage on Jon Gruden. This was produced October 17th of 21, and let's get into it.
All of us know that the Washington football team has been under investigation, obviously after more than 40 former female employees complained of a long-running sexual harassment and misconduct under Daniel Snyder, and everything that was going over there. Yeah. And there were maybe 650,000 emails, and the only person that got in trouble based on some of the things that they said was Jon Gruden, obviously talking about Demar Smith, his lips, talking about the gays. Obviously, at that time was Michael Sam. Yeah. I wouldn't be drafting or drafting no queer like that. Misogynistic.
He offended and disrespected every community. In 2021, going back to 2010, maybe even before that to 2018.
And not only that. Obviously, there was some other stuff that came out with Adam Schefter having to approve some stuff that he was going to put out and send it to Bruce Allen and some other higher execs to make sure it was written the right way.
What?
Tweaking it.
What?
Yeah.
So that's what they're doing?
Yeah, that's Adam Schefter came out in the email as well. Bruce Allen making fun of the motherfucking Rooney Rule and saying, well, since they have a Rooney Rule, maybe I should make a Lincoln Rule. Obviously saying they should have something for white coaches. And, well, obviously, I think it just happened to be that Jon Gruden got in trouble for some of the things he said. It was racist, but I don't think he's the only one that feels that way. I think in its entirety, maybe not all the owners, but I think a large majority of them feel the same way that Gruden's.
Yeah, so what wound up happening is, as Chad explained, but to cut deeper into that topic, just to cut deeper a little bit, Jon Gruden, before I found all this out, I looked at him like a quarterback, another quarterback wizard, another great quarterback wizard. He worked with a lot of, supposedly a great offensive mind, as a head coach, and I think he's still a head coach, but this ain't all his fault neither, and I ain't defending Jon Gruden neither, because the type of stuff that came out, I don't endorse. I don't respect none of that. I don't respect none of the stuff he said, the anti this and that. I'm not with all that. I'm all for inclusion. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool with everybody. You know what I mean? Just respect me, and I respect you. That's all, and that's it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the NFL dropped the ball yet again on another, serious situation, you know what I'm saying? And it's dealing with the, social climate of 2021, and certain coaches coaches like Jon Gruden still can't adjust to this era. I don't think he can, because he's been this way this whole time, and the NFL tolerated it, and because of where we at in time, they wanted to cut bait with him, Mark Davis, he knew about this stuff the whole time too, and then and waited until it got too hot to let Gruden know that we gotta ice this contract for right now. You know what I mean? he ain't the only one. I agree with Chad Johnson on that too. I don't think he's the only one. He hasn't been the only one. I mean, he ain't the first, he ain't the last. You know, there's gonna be another story about this kind of stuff dealing with somebody else that ain't black. You know, it just so happened this time, whoever told on Jon Gruden, they had enough of his crap. They just finally had enough of his crap behind the scenes and told on him. But I mean, think about it. If certain things didn't go down behind the scenes, whatever it was, I don't know. I'm just throwing the assumption out there as if something behind the scenes went down to where his statements and quotes got out there. I didn't read every last one of them, but but going off what Chad said, Lincoln rule, something for white folks, nigga, excuse me, y'all. Man, it's over 230 million white people in America. Like, what more privilege or any other special accommodation could you request? You didn't request America, but your motherfuckers burnt this bitch down and stole it and from the people who really founded this country. If Jon Gruden really wanted to take it there, but dog, it's not gonna be the only situation stuff like this occurred. You know what I mean? And I'm glad that the NFL decided to do something, but it's almost too little, too late. You got a lot of ground to make up if you want to try to appease your fans on authenticity and not allowing hatred and negative energy and comments to really take center stage over this season y'all got going on. It's a good season. I just watched Monday Night Football last night. It was a damn good game. And I plan on watching Thursday Night Football. But, they got to straighten this stuff up, man. I mean, I don't know what more the NFL could do to, save it, to try to, save face. But at the end of the day, you got to call cap where it's cap. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you got to call a BS a BS. I mean, you got to call a spade a spade. You know what I mean? The NFL, y'all failed in this situation with Jon Gruden. Y'all knew all this. Emails and stuff that Chad mentioned that they got, and I've also picked up that information before a few days ago about Jon Gruden. Like, when this story, in the midst of the story, taking center stage all last week. I seen some stuff. So a little bit of this and that they say, this was what's going on with Jon. But the problem with bashing Jon Gruden, with the media bashing Jon Gruden, he ain't the only one. You need to bash every damn body who come out like this. You shouldn't have to look for no nothing that's gonna say that whatever. Like let's just keep going.
Gruden feels, which is why none of the emails, rest of them haven't been released. The NFLPA would like all of them to be released.
It's not gonna happen.
Huh?
It's not gonna happen.
Why is it? It's gonna happen because it's a lawsuit.
It can happen.
What you mean
gonna
it's
happen?
Hold on. But you said it's not gonna happen.
They control everything.
We talking about
Not when it's a lawsuit though. They gonna subpoena them.
How many times have you heard, right?
How many times have you ever heard
In
that
a lawsuit, even guys on the street, if they got a bag, they're not gonna make charges go away. We talking about $1 billion. Billion.
Exactly. Fred's right. You know what I mean? The NFL, last time I checked was a few years ago. Before COVID, they was grossing $30 billion annually on average. So you could help fund many of positive movements that's tied to the league and stuff. You could have worked with Colin Kaepernick, even if it wasn't about football. You could have worked with him. Y'all seem to make an enemy out of everybody that loves the game, that actually cares about the humanity side of life. Like, not all football fans are just drunk and stupid and uneducated. Cause I'm a sports fan that's very enthused about just being able to cover and talk about stuff like this and give it to y'all. You know what I mean? And actually put it on film for distribution, for online video distribution, which is what's going on right now through this YouTube. But Man, my point is, it's the same thing Fred said. It's not gonna happen because they got the money and money rules all. Like, and they got more money than a lot of people. Yeah, even in a lawsuit, they'll have to give up some stuff, whatever the lawsuit would entail. Only they would know. But even with that, you cheated playing Monopoly before, right? Once or twice. You caught a friend not looking, and you ain't bust a big move the way you got caught, but you did something. Don't get it twisted. Now, think about that moment. That's the same thing they essentially do in the NFL with stuff like this. It's the same thing. All that be a money play. They tied into the law enforcement. They tied into politics. They tied into everything that's structured to demean and break down, black excellence in the worst way. Well, not in the worst way, but in a very bad way, to the point where you got people on the fence like, I don't know if I want to keep supporting the game like this. You know what I'm saying? Go back to 2016, Colin Kaepernick. I keep telling y'all, you know, like, I don't care what came out on the football side of it. People was like, oh, he only like he tried to tell us in 2016, and this is what's going like it's still going on. It was going on in the past. They told us then. Prominent people told us then from the league, told us about all that. Colin Kaepernick in 2016. Fred Taylor telling you not in 2021. Like they're like the NFL is a powerful. They're not even just they're not just a football league or entertainment stage or a firm. They're a worldwide conglomerate. You pulling in 30 billion. You pulling in 30 billion annually. Like I'm almost ashamed at how the feds just look at drug dealers making anywhere close to a percentage of what the NFL makes annually. You know what I'm saying? Bruh. It's just this topic really had me wanting to say stuff that I can't say on here. Like that, I let one get out. That was it,
Billions of bags.
All right, but only thing that
They going away. They got who they wanted.
No. That's a scapegoat.
Listen.
They ain't got what they wanted.
I was
Out of
just about to say.
650,000 emails,
Listen.
only Jon
But
Gruden.
it's like me and you talking on an email. If we dogs, you know what I'm saying? Gruden, he
hey, man, I seen them naked picture of them chilling. You like them titties?
right. But
That's how we gonna talk.
But no,
You like them
we
titties?
don't talk like we don't talk about
Make
ass
sure you keep these motherfuckers. If you
in the middle of the
get
locker
rid
room.
of them,
Let's
I'ma
keep
cut your
it
neck off,
1,000. Let's keep it 1,000. Let's keep it 1,000.
It's
In the
different.
locker room,
It's
we
different
talking
from
about
locker
that.
room
She got a
talk.
fat ass.
That's different between locker
Right?
room talk.
Well, ain't no difference in the email.
That's the it is.
I'm not condoning.
Nah, it ain't no difference in the emails, dog. It ain't no difference in the emails, man. It ain't no different in the emails. I agree with Fred on that part. I agree with Fred.
Owning what he did, he fucked up.
But it's
He
a
got what
big
he got.
difference, though.
He
It's a
got
big
what he
difference,
got,
T.
and he deserved it.
But it's
right?
a big difference, though.
But if he on an email, he's a victim of collateral damage. He fucked up. Yeah, he did. That's like anybody else in this entire country talking on an email or a text message that translates to an email with a dog.
Well, first of
Man,
all,
you done
the
talked
email
about. You
is
done
a-
talked about.
Is a legal binding.
Just like a
Well-
text, but when you have a text message that holds your email address that transfers to an email, it's just technology.
Well, hold on.
He got caught up on that. I'm not condoning it.
Just hit me out for one
Gruden
second.
fucked
Just
up.
hit me out for 1 second.
But you got homeboys. You say, damn.
Yeah,
boy,
man, you
that
can
ass
send a text.
fat.
I can send you a text about Joe Blow right here. Boom. I can send it to you.
Well, how many
Hold on,
times?
just hit me out.
How many
Just hit
times?
me out.
Don't say let me
Just
finish.
hit me out.
That's the safe word on the show.
All right, let me finish. Boom. I send it to you. Boom. That's Joe Blow. But when it comes to employees inside the building,
The ones running the show at that.
That's
That's
a different
different.
story. That is a different story.
that's different.
Because you're talking a certain tone.
Yeah.
So it's
Now,
two different
so
pieces.
it ain't the same in the locker room.
It's
If
two different
me and you done
pieces.
hit a chick and I say, hey, look, bro. Shout with him.
Hey,
She with it.
She with it.
There you
She
go.
with
You
it.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's talk. If you want to talk real, hey, bro, I'm saying it. Look, bro, boom, I send to you. That's different from a motherfucking guy. All the motherfucking red skin cheerleaders, topless, and send them to all the coaches. What the fuck you talking about? That shit is down there like God.
That's where it gets different. The actions committed by players and front office personnel. Yeah, it's a code. It's a code that each side, embellishing. They live in them spaces, those respective spaces. The way players talk, I'm on the side of the players every time. So it's like, you know, I mean, students in class versus teachers, student versus principal. You could pull up the Matilda method. Matilda and her classmates versus Miss Trunchbull. Look that up, Google it, kids. But point being, it's a certain code that both sides, honor within their own little, I hate to use this term, factions. But that's what it starts to turn into. You know what I'm saying? When it come down to them politics. It's a certain way they talk to each other, and it's a certain way you talk to each other over here. And that's one thing. But the actions the actions being carried out from those respective meeting rooms or whatever is totally different. It's like Holmes said, like two players talking about banging the same chick on different days and sending pictures to each other. That's different from an owner of a football team sending their cheerleaders out to pose topless for a calendar. Like, that's entirely different. Because what them dudes was doing, that's on their own free will. Even in the locker room. That's they space. That's they, house. That front office, it ain't your house. It ain't as much as your house. Like that. Especially if you don't own the place. You know what I'm saying? If you don't own the team or nothing. In this case, Daniel Snyder was that former owner of the Washington football team. And he was caught in some crap. Like, unlike I seen any other owner. Now, they might have other owners or former owners who done worse. And I have heard and, said my piece about certain owners who just didn't handle things the right way. Well, I'm going to get into all those videos at different times. Right now, it's about some serious stuff, you know what I'm saying? Because players could feel like this too. Like players who feel like Jon Gruden could feel like this. We don't know who they are. We just know this kind of energy exists within sports, within all facets of life. But what they talking about, that's what that cold stuff, like how players conduct themselves and how amongst each other and how front office personnel conduct themselves amongst each other. It's two different things. How they talk is one thing. It is what it is. But what's being carried out of those rooms is different. Like actions being carried out of those rooms. That's a whole other story altogether. You know what I'm saying? And depending on which situation, depending on what the situation is, who's involved in it, and what's being done in it. And who's reporting it.
Goddamn, what the are you in?
And we keep talking about.
Hold on. Let me get through right quick. In 2021, they just locked up what's the no, R. Kelly. Bill Cosby. What's the white man they just locked up? Who killed himself?
Epstein.
I'm saying that way different than the motherfucking me and you sitting over, hey. Shit,
we got it. Don't even say it. Just gonna say da 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 da.
Da 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 da. You know what I mean? That's different than walking around at a facility and told these folks, hey, look, this your assignment tonight. That is not the same of us catching somebody across the street.
But that ain't even an argument.
Yeah, it is because when you got an employee, bro, that means that she works for you.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, say you hire.
I know what you're saying.
Hear me out. Say you hire my wife to work.
Right.
You tell her, hey,
da da da.
Yeah. Boom. Tonight, to all the coaches. Yeah, that sounds like pimping.
But bro, but that's what I'm saying. No, I get what you're saying, but here's the thing: it's
the truth. It's the truth. Things like this have happened in the league in the past, and it happened. Recently in a franchise's recent history, and I wouldn't put it past no professional sports team owner to be doing this now. What they alleging that what be happening behind closed doors, or just giving examples of what the type of things that happen behind closed doors based on the facts put out there. I mean, it's anybody's call, but for me, I don't too much care for rich people who don't care for humanity. I tend to kick my feet up at stuff like this because, bruh, at the end of the day, we all trying to strive to get somewhere in life, and we could do that either together or separate. But at the end of the day, you know, like a better world without negative energy is always a positive vibe at the end of the day. That's always, it's always a better place without people like this. The NFL is a better place without Daniel Snyder in it. To make it short and sweet. And people like Jon Gruden, like they all need to be gone. I don't care how many people it is, how many personnel it is, players, coaches, trainers, doctors, front office personnel, from the bottom to the top. Like all y'all need to be gone. All y'all who think like Jon Gruden need to be gone. I don't care who you got relationships with. That's just me in my own perfect world. You know what I mean? But hey, it's your man Dude the real one, aka Dude Man, reporting live again from the Order TV, and I felt great giving y'all this video, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna be plenty more improvements amongst how I present this to y'all, and hopefully I just be, hopefully just bear with me, y'all. We gonna get to the top. We gonna do this together. I just need y'all to do y'all part. It don't cost y'all no money. I wouldn't ask you to do nothing to cost you money unless I was selling you something. It ain't no robbery in a fair exchange. But, that's another story for another day. I had fun doing this with y'all. This is Doodie Man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to all y'all. If you're on a positive vibe, stay positive, man. And until next time, man. Appreciate it. I'm out.